What's up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video for today. We have some very interesting news to share, guys, and it's quite good. So let's dig in. Here we have XRP King Doggo tweeting out, "The world needs to wake up before it's too late." So we will share this video, guys, and possibly, I don't know if I can share this on my YouTube channel, but if not, I will just cut it out. Now, why is this significant, guys, and why is this relevant to XRP? Because it has to do with the manipulation that has been going on, the price suppression, and everything else that has been going on till now, because they don't want you to know that XRP is the one, and that is why a lot of people right now are actually giving up. And I can see that in a lot of things, guys. A lot of people are losing hope in the XRP price. They are selling and they give up because they simply do not believe anymore that it will happen. They chase coins like Shiba Inu or like Doge because Elon Musk is tweeting about it or whatnot. But this is all, guys, just illusion. Finance ministers of the G7 countries have reached an agreed position on 13 public policy principles of central bank digital currencies in a move that could pave the way for greater adoption of CBDCs across the world's leading economies. Very interesting, because actually what we're waiting for now is the regulation of XRP, and here they actually drew a line of how they're going to handle CBDCs. And you have to understand that UK already agreed with Ripple to actually develop the CBDC on RippleNet, which is interesting because UK is in the G7. So innovation in digital money and payments has the potential to bring significant benefits, but also raises considerable public policy and regulatory issues, the officials said. Strong international coordination and cooperation on these issues helps to ensure that public and private sector innovation will deliver domestic and cross-border benefits while being safe for users and the wider financial system. The comments come following a meeting of finance officials in person in Washington as part of series meetings bringing together the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund under the leadership of the UK's Chancellor Rishi Sunak. We reaffirm that any CBDC should be grounded in our long-standing public commitments to transparency, the rule of law, and sound economic governance. Any CBDC must support and do not harm to the ability of central banks to fulfill their mandates for monetary and financial stability. You can clearly see, guys, they're very afraid of cryptocurrency, so they want something that actually helps the central banks and not push them aside, because that would be trying to take over the central banks, which will not happen, never. Something I've never understood: everybody is acting like there's no solution to the environment and fee problems. Everyone is acting like we had to wait for new technology like ETH2. Meanwhile, the SEC sues the solution, claiming XRP has no utility. Cryptocurrency exchange fees are a mess. Will they ever improve? Now, this is exactly what XRP actually is solving, but still, guys, before they press the switch and can really use it, it will take some time, but it is the solution because Ripple and XRP do not have any fees. The transactions are so fast and fluent. ISIME, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, massive backing into RippleNet, Brazilian bank, 500 million Latin American neobank and RippleNet partnership, which is a very, very big announcement. Warren Buffett is one of the best investors. He has never made any mistakes in investing in a company. He always invests in companies that have a long-term plan and have long-term like profits. And he also invested in Coca-Cola and stuff like that when they were not even there, guys. So this is very, very interesting. Warren Buffett just backed RippleNet because he knows what's coming, and we all know. True story. So this is actually, just to remember, some people think the bull run has ended because of a 12% drop. The smart ones with experience know to only be bearish if the macro structure is lost. I feel sorry for those who already flipped. So this is actually a drop to actually scare everyone. It could drop even further, guys, and then go up. But I still believe that we are in this bullish bull market. So let's see what will happen, because a lot of people are freaked out right now. Australia's crypto report credited Ripple with 3 principles for developing Australia's regulatory framework on cryptocurrency. Now let's take a look what this is saying, guys, because this is really interesting. For a moment here I thought, well, that's just a kangaroo. So let's take a look, guys, because it's very interesting on what Australia is doing on RippleNet. Australia's regulatory report inspired by Ripple's technology agnostic principle. America and Australia, while the former Securities and Exchange Commission filed a lawsuit against the blockchain company Ripple, the latter country used Ripple's insights in a government report. A good day for Ripple. Ripple's head of public policy, Susan Friedman, took to Twitter to joyfully announce that Australian policymaker had included Ripple's technology agnostic recommendation in their final report. To be specific, the report stated the regulatory framework should be technology agnostic and should not explicitly or otherwise endorse any particular technology. In total, the report credited Ripple with 3 principles for developing Australia's regulatory framework for digital assets. The second was Ripple's recommendation that regulators think about a principles-based framework instead of a prescriptive one. Finally, Ripple pushed for a risk-based approach in order to keep the ecosystem secure but also open to investment. In practical terms, this means that financial services using digital assets as a solution should not be treated differently from financial services embedding legacy architectures, and there should be parity in the treatment of all technology. Now, this is exactly where we want to go, guys. Ripple XRP will be the example for all the digital assets out there, because Ripple is the only one right now in a lawsuit, and it will prevail. So here we have CEO Brett Garlinghouse revealed that Ripple's XRP powered ODL service has grown by 130% quarter after quarter, and Ripple itself grew by 33% in the last quarter. And this is all, guys, with the lawsuit ongoing. Can you imagine? And this is massive numbers for a company, by the way. 33% in a quarter is insane, guys. And this is just the beginning. So you have to understand what is coming after this and when they do their IPO, which is going to be soon, because the lawsuit is going to finish very soon. Judge Sarah Nedburn says that the additional time requested by the SEC will not impact the schedule to resolve the case. Guys, this only means that they know when it will be resolved, right? The judge knows that this case is already over. They're just taking time to actually press the switch, and we know that. It's just a matter of time right now. I'm calling for a total collapse of the monetary system. There will need to be a reset. I think the US and world will experience something equal or worse than the Great Depression. From the dust, cryptocurrencies will rise and be the future of society. Very, very interesting. This is said, guys, at a summit on economic things. Let's take a look.
I'm actually calling for is a total collapse of the monetary system, actually. So it's not, I mean, there will have to be a reset. And I do think that what we're going to go through as a country, as a world, is something that's going to equal, if not be worse than 1929 and the 30s of the Great Depression. It is going to be cataclysmic, but from its dust, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will rise and be the future of society.
What's going to be the trigger for this collapse?
Oh, man. I mean, I think the triggers have already been put in place with just the printing of endless money. I mean, think about how everyone's now saying the U.S. could just, how do we pay off, almost 30 trillion in debt? Print more money, keep interest rates low. We know that every time there's a crisis in the world, whether it's COVID, whether it's a recession, what does the Fed do? Pumps more money, more QE. I mean, think about after 2009, the Fed came in with quantitative easing. You thought that was going to end after a few years. It didn't. And now we have COVID, and it's even more. And now the Fed's talking about it again. Watch, you'll see some sort of new crisis emerge, and the Fed will cut back on the QE a little bit and then re-up it as soon as the markets start to throw a hissy fit.
But why would that cause the monetary system to collapse?
Well, because eventually you have so many dollars out there that you're going to eventually have yields on the bonds spike higher regardless of the Fed, and you're going to have some sort of system that just is doomed to collapse. And it's hard to denote the exact chain reaction or specifics, But you can just see the writing on the wall at this point. It is not a pretty situation.
So what is it? What is this collapsed monetary system going to look like in its final form?
I think the dollar is going to eventually collapse. I think a lot of the main currencies of the world will decline. I think inflation is going to not go down back to 2%. You're going to see inflation run hot for at least a decade going into this. And eventually you're going to have the people just rising up, not necessarily in a violent way, but just demanding some sort of change, that you can't just constantly print money, that you can't just run up debt endlessly, because eventually that just eats away at our own buying power.
Just in the dollar collapsing, you're right. If inflation does go up dramatically, where even if it maintains its current pace, the dollar will lose value vis-a-vis domestic goods. But what about the dollar losing value or perhaps gaining value vis-a-vis other currencies? Do you think other currencies would depreciate at the same pace as the dollar, or perhaps depreciate even faster?
I think about the same pace, yeah. And the thing is, if you look at central banks around the world, whether it's Japan or even Europe or other central banks, they're doing the same thing. They're taking their cues from the Federal Reserve.
Very, very interesting, guys. Now, this is exactly what's happening, and we have been telling this for a while. It's just a matter of time. And this is also the reason why XRP is such a great digital asset to hold, because cryptocurrencies will eventually rise. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one.